Hey there, techies, and welcome to another review. And as you can see, we're going to be starting off this new round of reviews with Avast today. I figured Avast is one of the more popular free antivirus solutions out there, so what better product to start off with than Avast? Plus, it starts with A, and A is the beginning of the alphabet, so hey, I guess it works for both ways. Anyways, so I have the old comparison page up here, and I figured we'd kind of go through and say what solutions does Avast offer. Obviously, they got their free antivirus. They have premium security, which offers a few more features. The two packages here are the same, except for one is obviously multi-device and single, so you get 10 devices versus one. The ultimate, you can do 10 devices or one. The option is obviously here at the bottom, and you can select what you want, whether you want one or for an extra $10, you can go ahead and go for 10 devices. Scrolling back up, taking a look at what they offer, we have the free antivirus, obviously, that gives you your basic malware and spyware ransomware protection. That also includes the ability to scan Wi-Fi networks for weak passwords, possible intruders, man-in-the-middle attacks, anything that you can think of network-wise. It's kind of a nice feature to have if you use a lot of public Wi-Fi. If you're at home all the time, this really is not that much of a feature for home users. Scrolling down or going down a little bit more here, you get a little extra protection when it comes to ransomware. They basically give you a option to protect certain folders like your documents, your photos, things that you really hold dear that you do not want to get attacked by ransomware. In the case of ransomware getting past the security and encrypting your files, Avast will protect those folders and not allow programs like ransomware to make modifications to those. So that pretty much does it for the free. Then moving on to the premium, you get basically avoid fake sites, which is basically like a DNS rebinding attack filter. That's all it really does right there. This is one feature that, if anything, would really be good to have. So if you're considering premium, this is a nice feature. Is basically it includes a sandbox where you can run suspicious apps and see whether those apps are going to do damage to your system. And if they were to have malicious intent, they would then be shut down and not do any damage to your system, because any modifications they make would essentially be thrown away. They're done. It's in a sandbox. It can't harm your system. You get some webcam spying protection there, automatic updates. This is nice. Basically, this will update your apps automatically. For those of you who are, kind of neglect updating programs like Adobe, things like that, this would be nice to have, because it's just a one-stop shop where you can click update and it'll go through and update all the programs on your computer that it's supported, obviously. Major apps, which is mostly what the novice users would be using, I feel. And then these are kind of useless in my mind. I mean, VPNs, yeah, they're nice, but there's so many different VPN providers. Don't go with Avast just because you're looking for a VPN. There's other providers out there that definitely could provide good protection from that. And then the cleanup, well, we got CCleaner, and there's so many tools that can do cleanup. So once again, I would definitely recommend looking at the premium. Ultimate, you're gonna have to make that decision for yourself whether you consider these features nice to have. Of it all in one security suite is really what you're looking for in something. So let's go ahead, close that out, and we're gonna go ahead and run the setup file and see what it looks like. So I'll try to go make this the fast version. So, if things get slow, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. All right, so here is the main startup screen. Let's go ahead and click on Customize just to see what we have. So we have File Shields, Behavioral. Okay, so all of our shields right here. It looks like the only thing it's going to not install is Password Old. And what is that here? My guess, okay, come on. I guess it's not. There we go. Special vault, store passwords. Okay, so it looks like it's just basically a password vault. So yeah, there's once again many third-party ones. There's Bitwarden is one that I would recommend out there that can store passwords. So that's not really necessary. Okay, so I guess we're just going to do the default installation. Looks like it wants to install Google Chrome. No, thank you. We'll just decline that. And it is now installing Avast. So once it is all done, we'll be back. All right, it looks like Avast is finished. You are protected. We've got the world's largest threat detection network on your side. All right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. What is the most important thing to you? Firewall. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to say, I guess all the above, but okay, we'll say all the above for today. Continue. All right, run personalized scan. It's not going to find anything because, you know, this is a brand new machine, but obviously it's nice to see that they are going to do a scan initially. Now, most products do this, so it's not really anything special to, you know, to go for Avast here. Looks like it's pretty fast though. Okay, nothing found there. I guess we hit next now. Next again. Okay, so it's still scanning for malware there. Okay, so it says there's 2 issues here. You only have a basic firewall. Okay, whatever. It's firewall's fine. Vulnerability. Hackers can hijack your DNS. Fake copycat. Okay, what is it saying here? Okay, so it's just basically wanting us to get the premium there. Okay. Not too keen on the fact that it's saying that there's 2 issues here, trying to upsell, but I suppose you know, they got to make their money somehow, right? Scheduled smart scan run once a month. Sure, why not? Looks like we're finished. Okay, no, we do not want to put anything on our phone. And here we go. So this is the interface here. We can run a smart scan. Welcome, please start here. Well, we already ran a scan, so I don't see a reason to run another one. All right, so we got our tabs on the side here. We got status, protection, privacy, and performance. So status obviously is open right now. Let's move on to protection. As this little bump out drawer here. If we go to virus scan, then we have our different options here. We can do a virus full scan, targeted scan, boot time scan, or custom scans. Smart scan up here. You got rescue disk. So if your computer is already infected, it'd be obviously suggested that you run the rescue disk, boot into a separate environment. You'll get a much better result at cleaning up an already infected PC that way. All right, so let's go back to here then. Core shields. These are basically the real-time protection shields that are offered. So we got our file system shield, our file shield, I should say, behavior shield, web, and mail shield as well. If you aren't running an actual email client on your computer, this is pretty much useless. But if you're running something like Outlook, that's where this would come in. But really mainly today we're going to be testing these 3 modules right here, the web, behavioral, and obviously file shield. All right, so let's go back here. Virus chest, that's obviously going to be your quarantine folder. You can add a file apparently. I don't know why you just wouldn't delete a file instead of why would you add something to the virus. No, I don't understand that. Maybe someone in the comments wants to explain that. I could just be the biggest idiot in the world, but it doesn't really make much sense to me. I'm sure Avast does have a reason for it though. Wi-Fi inspector, this is basically just a vulnerability checker here. Let's see, remote access, shield, sandbox, and these are all features that are basically offered in the premium. So we move on to privacy here. You don't get any of these, unfortunately, with the free. That's only for the premium. Move on to performance, same thing. Software updater, I thought this wasn't included, but apparently, oh, automatic. Okay, so you can use it manually, but you can't do an automatic update with it. That if we click that, I'm sure it'll come up and say, yep, gotta buy the premium. Okay. That explains it then. Okay, no, I don't want to buy the premium. Thank you. Okay, so that is pretty much it for that. If we go up top here, you do have notifications, history, things like that. And then if we go to menu, this is where you can then put in your account if you had a subscription through them. And it shows you the products you currently have installed, which is just our basic antivirus. They do have a browser extension you can install as well if you'd like to do that. And that you do not actually have to have the Avast running. So you could install the browser extension as a standalone if you wanted, kind of as a second opinion scanner. If we go to settings here, we can kind of run through the settings here quick. We're in general right now. You can adjust your languages, update, and update frequency here. So that's kind of nice that they offer that. Notifications, you can adjust that. Animate the Avast tray icon when scanning. I wonder what that's going to look like. We'll enable that. Why not? Exceptions, obviously if you don't want it to scan a specific object, you can do that. Blocked apps and a whitelist, so it's just your blacklist and your whitelist. Password, protect your Avast, prevent other people, like your kids, from coming in here and messing with things. Your privacy, you can adjust what Avast shares, and then obviously troubleshooting is going to be if you're having issues with the product itself. All right, moving on to protection here. Got our virus scan. You can adjust obviously the settings here for the heuristics. Scan priority set to high. And if you want to scan for rootkits, the UEFI portion of your BIOS. Let's see, Packers and archives. We're scanning only common, which is recommended to speed up the scan. File types, context-based, low, fast. Okay, so we'll leave everything. We're going to leave everything at default here. Perform automatic actions during scan. Yes, and we're going to do that. But actually, in this case, I'm going to switch this. I want to just go ahead and delete the file because that's just going to speed things up. So we're going to do that. Okay, targeted scan. This is basically if you do like a right click, like a context scan, and you scan selected items. Actually, it might be Explorer scan. I think that might be Explorer scan. Don't quote me on that right there. Targeted might be if you actually go in there and target a specific location, and the Explorer scan is the right click scan, as far as I'm concerned. So if we move on to that, these are basically going to be the same settings that the full scan, just different, different categories. So you can adjust for different categories. Boot time scan, if you want to perform a scan basically every time the computer boots, you can do that as well. Core shield settings here. Now this is something I did want to actually talk to you guys about right here, the cyber capture. This is really like the creme de la creme when it comes to Avast, and this is really what they're touting themselves on. This is basically their behavior module. And what this is designed to do is it basically, if it encounters a threat, and you'll probably see this in action here, guys. If it encounters a threat, it's going to go ahead and submit that to Avast, but hold the file back. So it's essentially just their behavior module. But it does use quite a bit of artificial intelligence according to the what I've read on it on their website. So it'll be interesting to see, guys, how this actually does perform. So they got harden mode here if you want to further basically lock down the security of your computer. Rootkit detection. Let's see here. File shields, behavioral shields, web shields. You can adjust all such different settings in here. So yeah, definitely for a free product, this is really a nice thing. Let's see here. Potentially unwanted programs. Fix automatically recommended. If that's recommended, why is it an ignore? That's a little weird. That's interesting. So I guess if it's recommended, we're going to go ahead and do that just to give it the best result possible. Enable cyber capture. Yep, we want to keep that enabled. That's going to definitely help out quite a bit. Virus chest. This is basically just to adjust the megabytes, so the maximum amount of storage that you can have. Ransomware shield. Smart, strict. Anything that tries to delete protected folders required your permission. Smart, trusted. Okay. Okay. So we're going to leave it at default because that's what it came at. If I were running this, I would probably put it to strict. And the reason being is I would rather play it on the side of caution. If something's trying to modify those specific folders, you really would want to know about it and just have that opportunity to say, yes, I do want to allow this program to make these modifications. So yes, it basically has your file types down here that you can select. But I can see where some people might get irritated if it's constantly asking you to basically answer yes or no questions. Do not disturb. You can silence certain things right here, and then the software updater is over there. Okay, so I think that pretty much I should have looked here. No, I think that's it. So that's the entire interface, everyone, of Avast free antivirus. So what we're going to do now is we have our set of malicious URLs over here, and we're going to go ahead and throw it up against Avast and see how well it performs. I know it just did an update, but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that we're up to date. So we're going to do that. Looks like it found some definitions. So we'll wait for those to complete installation, which hopefully won't take too long because this should already be up to date. There we go. So up to date, 2:53 p.m. Okay, perfect. So actually, I think these were just release date was okay. So these were just released actually a few minutes ago. So we got fresh definitions to do our test with. All right, let's open up our process monitor here, and then also what kind of, I mean, we got a new system of a way of testing things here, guys. So we got to see how we're going to do this. Probably going to go ahead and just minimize. Well, you know what? We'll actually do it like this. We're going to put that over there, and then we're going to run our script. All right, so here is our script, and we were going to go ahead and run it. I actually did fix it, guys, so the one actually shows up now. All right, here we go. Well, let's see what we get. All right, we'll turn that down a little bit. It's a little loud. There we go. All right, so we have threat secured. We've safely aborted connection to pandemic-info.com because it was infected. All right, if we look at details here, it's a URL botnet, and that is the file that it's trying to load. Web Shield was the detected module, or the module that detected it, and then connection aborted. So we'll close out of that, and we'll just keep doing this because I'm assuming we're going to get all these. So now it's just a game of clicking. There we go. And I forgot to tell you guys, we did have 30 URLs today here. So it looks like the Web Shield is doing a fantastic job. I'm not seeing anything really getting through up there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mute this now because this is just getting obnoxious. Okay. Okay, I think we got through everything here. Now this one looks like it's still loading, but I don't see anything that has went into the downloads folder. So it looks like everything has been blocked by the Web Shields, which is really good to see. That's pretty good. All right, just gonna go through here. Oh, what do we got here? Okay, so this looks like it's a phishing email, or a phishing URL right here, but it's a private IP address, so that would be a little more difficult to detect. However, the Web Shield, because it's an actual web filter, should be able to detect this. So that's one that got through. So that's not bad, guys. Not bad at all. We will check the, okay, go. I guess it's not going to do it. We're going to check the downloads folder to see, and we got nothing in the downloads folder, and there should be nothing running in the background. So the web threat test was a success, I would say. So now what we're going to do is I guess we can minimize this for now, and we'll go ahead and extract the malware here, and then we'll see how much we have. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to disable the Avast shields, and we'll say, why don't we just do it, we'll just do it permanently. Okay, stop them. And now we'll go in here to check and make sure that all of our core shields, yes, all of them have been disabled. Perfect. And now what we'll do is I will extract the malware and see what we got. So let's do this. And once it's done extracting, I will be back and we will see how much in the way of malware we have to work with today. All right, everyone, we're back. I got the malware extracted, so we have 15,353 samples. And I did run a duplicate file checker, one that's pretty accurate. I've tried a whole bunch of them, and it did not find any duplicates in here. So there might be some that are similar, but they're variants, basically, of parent piece of malware. So we got 15,353 pieces of malware. We're going to go ahead and scan that. But first, I did want to show you guys the kind of system usage of Avast and how many processes it has. So we got one right here. It's using about 10 megs. And then we got another one down here that's using about 40, another 40, so 80. So we're up to 90. So let's go down more. Looking here. This one's Avast right here as well. So we got, okay, so over 100, yeah, definitely over 100. Yeah, and then we got 3 down here. That's Avast. So for today's standards, it's still pretty light for memory usage. And the biggest thing I look at when it comes to a security product is CPU usage for efficiency. And so far it looks like it is pretty efficient at CPU, and I don't really feel a slowdown at all with the system. It still feels pretty responsive, so that's a good thing. You can kind of take these results, you know, how you want to take them depending on your computer. Everyone's situation is going to obviously differ. All right, so let's go ahead and close that out for now. We're going to do a context scan of this folder here to give it the... All right, so the context scan has finished. This was the fourth scan I did, and the original one that I started, it took about 11 to 12 hours to complete, and it actually tried to load all the threats in RAM, it seemed, because the memory usage was basically went from a gig to nearly 2 gigabytes, and it was just kept creeping up from there. So I went ahead and rebooted the computer, re-extracted our malware folder here, obviously deleting the old one first, and then I just let the real-time scanner pick away at moving the threats into quarantine from there and resolving them automatically based on what the program decides to do with them. So then after that, I basically ran malware scan after malware scan using the context menu, and we have now found no malware in the folder. So we'll hit done, and we'll see what we have left in the folder. Let's open it up, and it looks like we have 356 files. So let's go to our calculator here, and if you remember, we started out with 15,353 files, and then we'll, let's see, take, 356, and then we'll do that by our starting amount, 353. That gives us a 98% detection rate. That is really good. And anything in the 90s nowadays is pretty much to be expected. Upper 90s, that's really, really good. So anything in the 80s, I mean, it's still considered good, but in today's standards, I feel with all the different threat intelligence lists out there, realistically, if the detection rate is in the 90s consistently, you really should maybe consider other options. Considering what you can see here, we have 97%. That's a good result right there. Definitely really good. So what we're going to do now is, typically we always do, we have our antivirus down here. We got Avast. All the shields are running. I'll show you that all the core shields are running. There they are. And everything is up to date. I just updated it not too long ago, but I'll do it again so that you guys can all see out there that everything is up to date. It says installing definitions. I just updated it not 20 minutes ago, so we'll see here if it finds anything. 458. So it looks like it did find a new set of definitions, which means it might actually detect more malware in this list now. I'll scroll through it here quick to see if we can prompt the real-time scanner. It doesn't look like it really, probably because it already scanned it. It's obviously not going to scan it again for performance reasons. But anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to throw this over here, and we're going to run this malware now and see how well the behavioral engines in this and in Avast work against malware that it doesn't know. So here we go. We'll start with the first one, and we'll just continue down the list and see what we get. Now, okay, good news. This file looks safe. All right, so did it do anything? It definitely loaded in the background, so we'll just keep going down the line. Now this one says it can't run on the PC. That either may be corrupted or it's virtual machine aware, which means because I'm on a virtual machine, it's not going to let me run the piece of malware. Malware writers do this so that people can't analyze them as easy, because they know most people do this on virtual machines such as myself. So it says it's scanning right here, and you can see it is loaded in the background, and it is listed as malicious according to VirusTotal by 28 vendors. So we'll kind of see what it's going to do, and you can see detected by cyber capture. So it's actually submitting it. Now I wish it would hold it more instead of letting it run. As you can see down here, good news, it doesn't look malicious. It's saying it's good. So we'll go ahead and run it, even though it's already running, and we'll go ahead and install it. Don't necessarily know what it's doing, but whatever it is, it definitely is malicious, threat secured. So it looks like whatever it was trying to install, Avast did end up finding it. That's really good to see. So I'll give that one to Avast right there. I just saw a bunch of things kind of pop up down here. We got a command prompt. So it is actually launching things in the background. So it looks like it might be a downloader or something like that. Oh, it's actually still installing. I didn't see that back there. Okay, another threat detected, adware. Okay, more adware. More. Lots of adware. All right, well, we're going to keep moving on here. While this is doing that, trying to see if it can, is it going to finish here quick? I'd like to see what's doing what here. I thought maybe it'd finish a little sooner. All right, everyone. So it looks like up here, I was clicking so much malware, I didn't even see this up here. It looks like it actually found one and said that file 17, it finally came back with analyzing it through the cyber capture, and it says it needs a closer look. So under more options, we have open anyway or move to virus chest. So we'll go ahead and take the move to virus chest option, obviously. All right, everyone, so let's go back to regular speed here. It looks like the cyber capture that I told to quarantine, if you look over here, it actually is this one right here running in the background. And because it says Avast cyber capture, and it's kind of got this border, it looks like around it, which indicates it's almost like in a sandbox environment. And that's also why the installation is stalled out. But it really hasn't done anything. It's kind of stuck here. So that it's kind of disappointing. And the biggest thing is also my explorer.exe has obviously completely frozen up as I can't do anything with it. So if we look over here at our process explorer, you can definitely see we have up, and it looks like my file 12 system read error. Okay, yeah, so this definitely malware is doing something. This system is heavily infected. I don't know if we're even going to be able to get a scan done on this computer. We will definitely see here what we can do. What I might do is I might force reboot this computer and see what we can do. Let's see if we can close that. Okay, we can. I can't do anything to this. So, wonder if we can kill a lot of this malware here. Wonder if I can. All right. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, because I'm not going to sit here and kill all this malware. It actually says suspended. That's interesting. So it looks like Avast, it might have suspended that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to force reboot the system here, and we're going to see if we can't load this back up and then do a scan with Avast. So I will be back, hopefully with a scan from Avast, and hopefully it'll find all the malware that has since infected the system, and we'll see the results of that. So the scan has finished, and I do also want to let you guys know that after I rebooted the computer, if we look at our process monitor here, I should have had this preloaded before I started the video, but once it submits all the hashes and they're analyzed by VirusTotal, you will see that we only have one piece of malware running in the background. Everything else that was running earlier has since been, I don't want to say eradicated, but it just not there anymore. Whether it's on the system still or not, we're going to use Hitman Pro to do kind of a preliminary scan or a post scan, we'll call it, to see how much is left in the system, if anything, unless Avast truly did clean it all up. If we look at here, like I said, one piece of malware, and it looks like it's just adware that it found. So we'll go ahead and it's just an app data. So we're going to go ahead and resolve that. There we go. All right, one deleted. So we are protected again, according to that. And we're going to go then to Hitman Pro. We're going to start a scan with Hitman Pro and see what it finds. So once Hitman Pro is done scanning, I will be back and we'll go through the final results of what we think about, or at least what I think, how Avast did. So we'll see you in a bit. So the scan has finished and it has found one trace. It looks like that piece of adware that Avast detected earlier. There's just a little bit left behind from it. So not a huge deal, but I would like to see Avast do a better job at cleaning up. If it detects a threat, to remove the entire threat, obviously, and not leave little remnants of it behind. And if we go over to virus total, you can also see that Avast does detect it. So that's why I'm pretty sure it's that piece of malware that it detected earlier. And it's also detected by 31 other engines right here. So you definitely know that it has some malicious intent, I should say, due to the community score and due to the 31 virus engines that also detect it. Overall, final verdict on Avast. I think it did very well, considering we threw 15,000 pieces of malware at this program, and it had a 98% detection rate. That is really good. Like I said, anything in the upper 90s, that's something great in a program right there, especially a security product, to have a detection rate of 98%. That's really good to see. And then, you know, it did miss that trace of malware, and it did also allow all that malware to run, but obviously the cyber capture feature definitely did work, and their behavioral engines did their job by not allowing that malware to really gain hold on the system. It allowed it to run to a certain degree, but then once it tried to make critical modifications, it obviously, you could see, did shut it down and prevent the system from becoming unusable after reboot. You know, we had to do a reboot, but after that, as you can see, everything is back to normal. The system is very functional, and we don't have any sort of homepage changes or anything like that. Nothing really funky going on. So that was good to see. So the good and the bad with the program. Would I recommend Avast? Absolutely. I would definitely say Avast is a great choice, especially considering it is free. Obviously, the free protection they offer is enough to go ahead and get by for just your standard protection on a system. With that said, that'll be the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it, what I can do better. I always like constructive criticism. Till the next video, guys, see you later.